Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Melissa. I have a plant Instagram, Plants by Melissa, if you want to check me out over there. I post daily and make a lot of content. But for today's video, I'm going to show you my Hoya collection. I actually just went plant shopping a couple of days ago at a big box store and I found a couple more Hoyas to add to my collection. I'm just thrilled to have them and I can't wait to show you all of my Hoyas. I actually don't know how many I have. I'm gonna have to count them when I do this video. Some are really big, I've had for a while, and some are really small. A lot of my small ones I just got as cuttings and they have been potted up for a while and haven't really grown too much yet. I have had 2 Hoyas bloom for me over my time with them, and I have several right now that have peduncles, so I'm super excited because they have not bloomed yet. So really excited to show you guys my collection. I hope you enjoy. First up, I'm going to start with my favorite because she is my pride and joy. She is the biggest Hoya I have in my collection. She has not bloomed for me yet. This is my 3rd year with her, so I hope she blooms for me soon. She's given me lots of new growths. I haven't noticed any peduncles that I have seen, so I'm hoping I get some here soon. But let me back up so you can see her. This is my Hoya carnosa Crimson Princess. Isn't she beautiful? And I'll show you her up close as well. I have had this Hoya, this will be the 3rd year with her, and I actually found her at a Lowe's a long time ago, and I repotted her last summer for the very first time. She stayed in her grower's pot for a while, and I gave her a super chunky mix and she's been loving it. I actually will water this Hoya. It depends. It's probably like every 3 to 4 weeks right now. I know that may seem like a while, but I will not water this plant until the leaves feel soft on her. And now that it's summer here, I'm probably going to have to water her sooner because during winter it was probably like every 5 weeks when I would give her water. But when majority of the leaves feel soft, I will give this plant some more water. But I just love her. She is huge and literally my pride and joy. So the Crimson Princess was my 2nd oldest. And this one here is my 2nd favorite because this is my oldest Hoya. I got this as my very first Hoya in my collection. It was another Lowe's find. And I repotted this one last summer for the first time at the same time as my Crimson Princess. And this one has been blooming since last spring. So it's been a really happy Hoya, and it has several peduncles and a couple blooms right now. This is my Hoya Burtoniae. Look how beautiful. I just adore this Hoya so much, and I'll show you her up close as well. I have lots of new growth on this plant. Just such a happy Hoya. I let most of my Hoyas go bone dry, and when the leaves start to feel soft is when I water most of my Hoyas. But I just love this one so much. All right, the next Hoya is one that I recently got on my shopping trip, and I thought that this Hoya was the wrong one for the longest time because this is another exotic angel plant from Lowe's, and this is actually the bilobata, and it's very similar to the Burtoniae. The leaves are a little more elongated and they're not as fuzzy as the Burtoniae, so I'm really glad to add this bilobata to my collection. It's really long and fluffy and it has lots of new growths as well. I just cannot believe I found this plant, and I'm just super excited to have this in my collection. I am excited to have both of them, so just really happy to find that one. All right, the next Hoya in my collection is my Crimson Queen. I actually have 2 of them, and I believe I'm going to pot them up together. Sometimes I think that this other one is a variegated Chelsea. The leaves remind me of the Hoya Chelsea, so I'm not entirely sure both of these are a Crimson Queen. I'll show you them up close and you'll have to let me know what you think, but they look like this. They're both on a trellis. This one is a lot slower growing in my opinion than the Crimson Princess. This one has a lot of new like little baby growth starting, and the leaves definitely remind me of a Chelsea because they just resemble the Chelsea leaves to me, but it could be very well be a Crimson Queen. These guys actually both started out as really small plants, so they have grown quite a bit, so I'm really happy with the progress they've made, And they definitely do seem like they're growing as well. Okay, next up is my Hoya shepherdii. I love this Hoya. This one actually has several peduncles that appeared earlier this year. I noticed a few months ago the peduncles, and they are very slow to open. They are growing, they are getting bigger, but are very slow. And I've actually had this Hoya. I actually think this is my third oldest Hoya in my collection, because I had this Hoya as a really small plant. If I can find a picture of it, I'll put it on the screen. And I repotted this guy last summer as well, and it has grown. All this here is all new growth, all of these longer strands, and there's so many peduncles on this plant. It is crazy. I am just so excited to see this Hoya bloom. You don't even know. There's probably like 6 or 7 peduncles. There might even be more. It just like keeps putting them out. So I really hope I see bloom soon. I'm hoping. But yeah, I just love this Hoya. I love the circle trellis. It looks like, it's also known as like the green bean Hoya because of the strings. So I adore this one so much. All right, next up is my Hoya polyneura. I'm probably going to end up propagating this guy soon. I was waiting for a little bit more growth before I end up propagating, but I love this fishtail Hoya. The leaves are a little bit thinner on this one, and I feel like it didn't really grow all winter for me. These are 2 new leaves it just gave me not that long ago, so I'll probably wait for 2 more sets, and then I'll probably end up propagating this guy to fill this out, because I want a really full pot of this one day. It is beautiful. I love this Hoya so much. Next Hoya is this guy here. It is just all kinds of crazy. This is a Hoya retusa, and this one is very slow growing in my opinion. This guy has not grown very much at all, and I like how bushy he is. It would be cool to have a really big pot of this one day. I don't know, I might end up propagating. He's got several stems in here, but we'll see. I don't want to cut him too short because I like the way he looks right now, so I might end up propagating this one. But I don't know, he seems happy. He just doesn't grow very fast at all, so maybe I need to figure out the care on this one a little bit more, but definitely a slower growing one in my experience. All right, next up is my Hoya linearis. It is beautiful. It's got 1 long strand here. And I did propagate a couple strands. There's one here and here that I did last year. So it's starting to grow a little bit more. I actually think I might repot this one this year. We'll see. I put him into this pot last year, but I don't really like this pot. I kind of want to get him into a better mix. But he's given me lots of new little growth on the bottom since spring hit. And again, another plant that I want really long and bushy and full one day. I don't know, I would be tempted to buy a full pot if I ever find one. I actually saw one, I don't know, maybe a couple months ago, and it had mealies, and I'm just like, no. But one day, if not, I will just keep propagating and hopefully fill this guy out some more. Is that a peduncle? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that, but yes, I love how fuzzy the leaves are and everything on this one. I love this Hoya. I love the look of it. All right, next up is my Hoya australis, and this is just the regular green one. I do have the Lisa, and I'll show you that one too. This one is actually growing quite a bit since spring hit. It gave me these 2 leaves here, and it's working on another set of leaves. And this one I got last year. It was probably to like here when I got the plant, and then like this here is all new growth in my care. So this one I find is a bit of a thirstier Hoya. The leaves I feel like get softer faster, so I'm probably going to end up upsizing this guy soon. I might do that this year, we'll see. But I really love the new leaves and how dark green they look, and the baby leaves are just so cute. So yes, I definitely want a big plant, a big pot of this one day as well. Next up is, I actually have 3 Hoya pubicalyxes in my collection. This one is a splash, and this one is very splashy. The leaves have a ton of splash on them. This is a newer one, so it looks a little bit darker, and then it fades into like this lighter green. And he has a lot of long vines. Like this vine wraps all the way around this trellis, and this is a new leaf here not too long ago. So, and he's working on like a bud here that's new. So yeah, I'm hoping he kind of fills in. He just put out these really long tendrils like last year sometime, so I just wrapped them around this trellis. So definitely excited for this one to grow. I just love the splashiness on this one. And this one here is another pubicalyx. This one I believe someone told me was a purple Hawaiian. I believe the leaves do come in, the newer leaves do come in this really dark color. And this one has been growing kind of like crazy. I have him on this trellis, but he's really bushy on bottom, but he's not that bushy on the top yet. So I don't know. I'm not thrilled with the way this looks on this trellis, so I might end up doing something different with this one. And he actually needs to be upsized because I feel like his leaves get soft a lot faster as well. So, and this trellis kind of takes up a portion of this pot. So we'll see. I don't know my plan. I don't love the way this one looks, so I might change it up a bit. So we'll see. But this one is a pretty cool Hoya. I just love how dark the new leaves come in. This is my other Hoya pubicalyx, I believe so. I think this might be a pink splash. I'm not 100% certain. The splash on the leaves look a little pink, and this one has like really light green leaves, and this trellis is super tall. Like this is a really, really tall Hoya. This one has blooms for me. It had one huge bloom on this one here, and it was not a very good smelling bloom, but the blooms were beautiful and the actual bloom itself was huge. So I haven't seen another peduncle yet or another bloom on this one. It only bloomed that one time, so yeah, we'll see. Hopefully I'll get another bloom. It was very pretty, but didn't smell the nicest. But I love the green color on this one, and I love how tall it is. This is another favorite Hoya in my collection. I just adore this one so much. I got it as a small plant, and it has grown so much, and I have propagated this guy. And I am sun stressing it currently, so it's getting a lot of direct sun, and the leaves are coming in very sun stressed. It is beautiful. This Hoya is gorgeous. It's got lots of new growth up top here. I thought I saw a peduncle on this one the other day. I don't know, maybe not. I thought there was a peduncle, but this one is a Hoya Sunrise. I don't know if I said that. And I love this Hoya. This one grows pretty fast for a Hoya, and I feel like this one gets thirsty quite a bit too. A lot of my Hoyas I keep in direct sun on my south window here, so they do get a ton of light, so that does cause them to get thirsty more frequently. But I love sun stressing my Hoyas. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to water him at some point again soon, but this one I adore. I'm gonna show you this Hoya next because I keep stepping on it. This is another new Hoya that I got recently on that same shopping trip. This is a Hindu rope, and look how beautiful it is. I honestly was shocked that I found this at Lowe's, and it has so much new growth just everywhere, and it just seems so happy. This line, this exotic angel line, is just some of the happiest Hoyas come in this, because my two Hoyas that came in this are just, you know, growing like crazy. My Burtoniae and my Crimson Princess. So I just adore this one. I love how wrinkly the leaves are, and I'm really excited for this guy to grow and get long. It's beautiful. So super excited that I found this one, to add this one to my collection. This Hoya here is my variegated Hindu rope. It's really small. It does have tiny new growth at the top finally. And this guy, believe it or not, I think I've had for quite a while too. This might be my third or fourth oldest Hoya, and it has barely grown at all. I've had this guy for probably 2 years. And yeah, it just is very slow. So I hope he can grow more at some point. I feel like I do need to give him an upsize because I feel like this guy gets wrinkly pretty fast. So I feel like he could use a bigger pot, because this is just in a small little nursery pot. So we'll see. I don't know if I'll disturb him this year or not, but I love the variegated one. It's really cute. It would be awesome to have one as big as the regular green, but I feel like for him to get to that size would just take forever, but it is very beautiful. Next up is another Hoya that I actually propagated by myself. It was this original leaf here that I rooted and propagated, and this is all the new growth that I've gotten from this one. This is a macrophylla, and look at that beautiful leaf. It's gorgeous, and it looks like it could be working on some new growth here, so we'll see. I feel like I may get him out of this tiny nursery pot as well and upsize him this year. It's in a pretty small pot. I know some of them like to be root bound, but I feel like they do dry quite a bit. So we'll see. I don't know, but I love this one. I think the leaves are so cool. I love the leaf shape. And I might get him staked up on a trellis as well because he's kind of leaning. So I'll probably do that at some point. But I definitely love this one. I would love to have a big pot of this one day too. This is my Hoya curtisii, I believe. And this one, I actually just found a peduncle on him recently. It's a pretty large peduncle, but it hasn't done anything yet. And this one, this Hoya is probably the Hoya in my collection that I've had the most trouble with. I feel like, I don't know if it's sensitive to too much water or I may have underwatered it at some point, but I did have quite a bit of yellowing leaves on one of these vines that fell off, and so I wasn't sure what happened there. I think I may have overwatered it. I don't know, but this one probably is the one that I struggle with the most, and it really has not grown a whole lot at all. It does have tiny new growth starting to form, so we'll see how it does. I don't think I'll mess with the pot or anything this year, so we'll see, but hopefully I can keep it happy. If you have one of these in your collection and yours is growing like crazy, let me know your tips with this one specifically, because I feel like this one just hasn't done well under my care, so we'll see. I may have to change around some of the care habits with this one, but it is very pretty. I love the variegated, the tiny little variegated like teardrop leaves. They're so cute. This one here is a new Hoya in my collection. I got this one probably a few months ago. It was a couple months before I moved, and I actually need to cut that dead stem off. But this is a Hoya archboldiana, and it hasn't done anything for me since I've had it. These were leaves that it was working on when I got it at the nursery, and the tip part kind of browned off and died, so I'm waiting for new growth. It hasn't done anything yet. I'm finding this one is a pretty thirsty one, and I don't know if I need to upsize it or not either, but yeah, I think the leaf size and shape is pretty cool on this one, so I'm excited to see new growth. So definitely hasn't done anything for me yet, but I thought it was a pretty cool Hoya to have. I don't know, but I just thought it was cool and I just wanted it when I saw it. So, and this is my Hoya australis Lisa, and it is finally giving me new growth. It has not done anything in probably like 8 months, and I have 2 new little baby leaves in here. It's so cute. So I'm really excited to see this one grow this year. I'm just really happy to see new growth finally. I just feel like it just wasn't doing anything. And this one I'm finding is a bit of a thirstier Hoya as well, so I feel like I need to water him again soon. I feel my Hoya leaves, and when they start to feel soft, I will give them water. I definitely wait for the soil to dry, and yeah, once they start showing some wrinkles, I know they're getting pretty thirsty, so yeah, I usually just I can feel when they start to get thirsty. But I love the coloring on this one. It's so beautiful. And I cannot wait for this one to get bigger leaves. I just think that green on green variegation and the pop of pink is just so beautiful. All right, this little Hoya, I'm actually not sure the ID on this one. I think someone may have told me before, but I don't remember which one it is. And this guy wasn't labeled when I got it, and it's been very slow growing. And it's finally working on a couple baby leaves up top, so it looks like it wants to grow a little bit, but one that I found hardly has done anything. I think it just took a while to get established in this little pot. But yeah, I just thought the leaves were cool on it, so I'm really excited to watch this guy grow for me. So if you guys know what this Hoya is, let me know. I would love to know the ID, that way I can label it. So yeah, it's just cute, and I think the little planter with this is adorable. Next up is my Hoya obovata. This one was a propagation, and this is the newest leaf it gave me here since I propagated it. It was, these 4 were the original leaves, and this stem is dead, so I probably should cut that. But this is a new growth that it gave me not that long ago, so it's so cool. I honestly think this Hoya is beautiful. I love the round, big oval-shaped leaves, and the pop of splash in there is beautiful. And I would love to have a full pot of this one day as well. I think this one's actually thirsty because I can feel he is not, the leaves are getting very soft. So I actually need to water several of these Hoyas after this video, but Yeah, I just think this pot in here is so cute with his little hair. So I don't know. I just love this Hoya. Next up is a Hoya kerrii splash, and this was a propagation that I potted up last year. It has not grown for me yet, so I am waiting for that. But it's got two little heart-shaped leaves, and it's in a pretty small pot, which I might upsize it this year. We'll see. It didn't have hardly any roots, you know, when I potted it up, so since I propagated it as a cutting, but I feel like it's probably getting thirsty too as well. But I don't know, I just think it's so cute. I love, this is my only kerrii in my collection, Hoya kerrii. I think the other ones are beautiful, but I never splurged on one yet. I don't know. I was gonna see how this one grew for me, but since it was a cutting, it's probably gonna take a bit to start growing. But I don't know, if I ever see a bigger pot in the store, I might splurge on one. We'll see. But I just think the heart-shaped leaves are so cool, and it's beautiful. So okay, we're getting there. I think I have 2 Hoyas left. I'll have to double check to make sure I didn't forget any. These guys I actually just moved into my IKEA cabinet because I just wanted to see how some Hoyas would respond in there. And let me say they are loving it because I have new growth already, which I'm super excited about. These again were both propagations. So this is a Hoya Chelsea here. It was just a single 2-leaf propagation, and it has a new growth already that's starting. And this guy was potted up last year sometime, so it's probably been like 6 months or so, and it didn't do anything. So I'm really happy to finally see new growth on this one. I just think the Hoya Chelseas are just pretty, so I don't know. I'm really excited to see this one grow. And then last up is this Hoya wayetii. It has not done anything for me either, but since I put him in the cabinet, it has a tiniest bit of growth, which is so exciting. And yeah, I don't know, I love propagating, even though sometimes propagations take a bit to get started. It's so rewarding watching them grow when you finally start to see new growth. It just makes me so happy. So I'm really excited to see him grow, and he's definitely loving the cabinet, so I'm excited to keep him in there and see how they flourish. I might put a couple of these other small ones in there just to see how they do, but so far these 2 have been enjoying it. Okay, so that was all of them. I just counted them. That's 25 with the 2 newest ones. And I actually forgot I had 2 die on me. One died after the move. It just shriveled up and died. I don't know what happened with it. It was one little leaf that died, and it was a propagation anyway, so it just didn't make it. And then I had another one that died several months ago. I think I just overwatered it and it just like yellowed and died. So it was a tiny like 1-leaf propagation. So that one didn't make it either. So I am back to 25. So I'm really excited to get more. I honestly thought I had more. But yeah, a lot of mine are still small, but some are like pretty big. And I love starting plants small and watching them grow. It's just so rewarding. So I'm really happy to have these bigger ones that I got in my collection. And I'm just excited to have them and watch them flourish. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this Hoya collection, and if you enjoyed it, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll be happy to share other collection videos and do those for you guys as well. And yeah, let me know what your favorite Hoya is, because I kind of want to get more, and I want to know what you guys are enjoying and which one is your favorite. I would love to know and hear down in the comments. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you'll subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you guys later.